All right. It's all right. Everything is all right. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Thank you for sending me something because I was on another thing and was letting the time get away from me. So thank
Oh,
you.
you know what? It was an automated part of the system. I didn't have to do anything at
Oh,
all.
that's even better.
It really is. It really is. You must have hit that little bell next to my name, and that's what makes it happen.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Sounds like my dad's not going to make it today, but I know Adriana's right here, and Tom's here already, so we'll be just fine.
Morning. You can hear me, right, Lee?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good mic check.
Morning, glories.
Hi, Andy. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. I need my green
Good
star.
morning.
Good morning.
You need your green what?
The green star that always Lee gives me.
Oh,
I'm asking in a different way because it gets
moderation.
so
There it
boring
is.
to ask it every single time. Thank you.
Keep me on track, honey. All right. Pin Tom to the wall. There's this thing in Zoom. It's called pinning, and that's how I get him first. I got to get him first in line for it all to look right. All these little goofy little details. I'm not sure what you. Oh, sure. Yes. Yep. That'd be great. Thank you. Slowly but slowly. There we go. I got all these little boxes to. Dang it. All these little boxes to get in a row. So today we're going to do lesson 117. We're getting to the close to the end of the reviews.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me here this morning for Workbook Lesson 117. I got this beautiful little picture of blade of grass on my screen right now. It says, "Let me remember, love is happiness, and nothing else brings joy." And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love, which is a pretty good approximation of these lessons today. Today, the lessons we're reviewing are 103 and 104. 103 is God being love is also happiness. And 104 is I seek but what belongs to me in truth. With no further ado, we're off to the show. God being love is also happiness. Let me remember, love is happiness, and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no egoic substitutes for love. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Love is my heritage, and with it, joy. Love and joy are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. So today on the hour, God being love is also happiness, reaffirming yesterday's happiness goals. And today on the half hour, I only want what's mine. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Nobody else is going to come along and claim that. It's ours for us. And we're all one in truth. All right. I'm going to hit, I think, the notes for lesson 104, unless you have a suggestion, Tom. I'm going to take that as that's a great idea, Lee. I know that's what he's saying. I know. All right. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. This lesson asks that you seek what belongs to you in truth rather than seek to acquire false egoic gifts of the physical world. This is an ongoing and continuing problem that needs to be addressed and resolved. If your ego doesn't know who you truly are, it will be unable to realize what will make you happy or recognize when you are truly happy. The ego will mistake pain for happiness and value conflict over peace. It will value the transient over the eternal. Since your ego perceives itself to be your body, it will value what it believes will make your body safe. The ego believes that you're limited, that you suffer from lack, and you're incapable of surviving unless you're taking what you need from others. It sees this world as a zero-sum game. If you're to win, somebody else must lose. Because of this, your ego perceives a fear-based world in which attack is a useful tool in helping you obtain the limited resources that the ego believes it needs to survive. Your ego's world is seen as a place of struggle, conflict, pain, and suffering. Therefore, joy and happiness are not highly valued. I value. Instead, manipulation, control, attack, and your ability to hold grievances are deemed more important for your survival. If you're your body and the body is you, the body's self-defense and maintenance is fundamental to what your ego's thoughts. Thank you. I have a helper. Boy, do I have a helper. Oh no, I lost my place again. If you're your ego and the body is you, the body's self-defense and maintenance is fundamental to what your ego's thought system most highly values. Coming from this misperception that you're limited and lacking, totally okay. Your ego develops its own plan for your safety. The task of your ego is to argue for its plan for rightness rather than your happiness. You want to be right or do you want to be happy? Your ego claims you're not the source of your own experiences, but rather a victim of outside forces that are beyond your control. Your ego's plan seeks to manage, manipulate these outside forces so that you can obtain the necessary things you need for its survival. Blame, shame, guilt, plus your ability to attack and hold grievances are highly valued as weapons for manipulation and getting your own way and proving that your ego is right. Because your ego believes you're a victim of outside forces that are beyond your control. It places high value on obtaining gifts from outside forces. Your ego is constantly seeking a good deal and values obtaining the items it believes it needs for as low a price as possible. What a bargain hunter he is. Unfortunately, when you follow your ego's plan, you are seeking happiness, joy, and love in all the wrong places. You need a new plan that will value your happiness over your ego's need to be right. Joy, peace, and happiness are your divine birthright because they are God's gifts to his creation. These gifts are freely given and are constantly available to all, but must be freely accepted by the recipient. Unconditional love does not force you to accept these gifts. Instead, unconditional love waits patiently until you're willing to receive the joy, peace, and happiness that flow from your source. And that source is with a capital S. Stop valuing your ego's false plans for your happiness and start listening to the voice for truth that God has placed within you. The Holy Spirit will lead you to the joy, happiness, love, and peace that you seek, since that is God's will for you. In this play school of time and space, your function is forgiveness, your purpose is love, and your destiny is the peace of God. Follow the Holy Spirit's guidance and reclaim the joy, happiness, and love and peace that is your destiny. Let's take a minute and take a couple of deep breaths together. My goal here in this meditation today is just to provide enough space for you to relax and take these messages into your mind in a calm theta state so it can guide you throughout the day. It's already there. We've already accomplished all the goals. So all we need to do is take a couple of deep breaths and meditate on these for a little bit. And then do your best to come back to that meditative state every hour and half hour to get these messages alive in your life today. God, being love, is also happiness. Same lesson, right? Let me just double check my work here. God being love is also happiness. I seek what belongs to me in truth. Yep, I got it right. Sometimes I make a mistake, but I'm only making a mistake in thinking I made a mistake. Let's think about what is supporting us. This chair, this floor, this bed, whatever is supporting your body, know that you're completely supported. You've never fallen through the ground. The ground supports you, and the ground connects us all through Mother Earth. So whatever part of you is touching that surface below you, that's the root, rooting down like a tree. The roots reach down into the earth, and they pull out all the water they need, and the roots pull in all the oxygen that the plant needs. Plants are amazing because they need oxygen and carbon dioxide to survive. The oxygen they pull out of the ground helps the inside of the plant, and the leaves take in carbon dioxide to produce oxygen for us. So all these plants are working for our benefit to make oxygen so that we can breathe. That's how Mother Nature supports us. She also provides all the water we need to drink, the food we need to eat. And we, in turn, here honor her and bless her. Think about the base of your spine, down at the bottom, right behind you. That red root reaches out through the earth, connects us all, moving up through the orange sacral chakra into the solar plexus. We have orange and yellow, those bases, and the darker colors, the lower ends of the spectrum, red, orange, yellow. And moving up into our heart, it's green, bright, full of love. Up through our chest into our throat, where our sound comes from, we have blues and indigos. As we get into the third eye, our intuition, our true intuition, helps lead us in the right direction. All the way to the crown, the top of our head, where our thought comes, our understanding. And as we go up through the top of our head and look back down, all these colors combine to a pure white light surrounding us, enveloping us. See that light and make it as bright as you can. So bright you can't even look at it. Your light lights our world. And today, our lights combine to light up the world and help lead our brothers and sisters back to peace. So today, God, being love, is also happiness. Let me remember that love is happiness and nothing else brings joy. We need this love. So let's choose today to entertain no substitutes for love. There's nothing better than love, and it takes care of all of our needs. I seek what belongs to me in truth. Love is my heritage, and with it comes joy. These are the gifts my Father gave to me, and I would accept all that is mine in truth. So today, we're going to come back to these simple thoughts over and over. If you're faced with a situation, ask, what would love do? How would love have me respond to this situation? If your contractor is making you angry, how would love respond? If your kids are getting you frustrated, How would love respond to that? If your work throws you a curveball, how would love respond to that? And each day in every way, it's getting better and better and better. I really appreciate you being here with me. We're working our way through these lessons one by one, and it gets easier as we go. It's not like getting to college. It's like finishing a jigsaw puzzle. And there's only a few pieces left. So today in time, let's come back to this, reminding ourselves on the hour, God being love is also happiness. And on the half hour, I seek but what belongs to me in truth. And here's another option. You can combine these. I seek what belongs to me in truth. God, being love, is also happiness. Come back to being happy today, everybody. That's our goal. If you're not happy, take a moment. Take a deep breath. Recall what we're doing right this moment and apply our principles of love to that situation, and the best answer will be provided for you. Thank you all for joining me here. Take a minute and then let me know what you think. Thanks, everybody. I love you all. What would love have me do? I'll take that question and a couple of others, and I'll put it in the chat to remind us. But maybe you can tell us. What did you run into? Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, if God, wants us to be happy, we need to realize that in order to really be happy, uh, people want to be, I'm going to say free, but they want to be able to make their own decisions. They want to be able to have their own experiences. A slave, with even the best of masters that gives the slave everything, still yearns for the freedom to be able to make their own choices. And in our case, or with an individual, what we really wanted was the freedom to be able to make our own choices, to make our own way in the world, to have our own experiences. And uh, God allows that. God allows us to be free, knowing that we remain as God, our Creator, created us. We're still part of the oneness of all that is. So, uh, this idea that we wanted to be free to ultimately be happy is kind of what I'm going to call a parent's dilemma. A parent wants their child to be happy, but their parent also knows that eventually the child needs to grow up and be able to make its own way in the world and has to be free to make their own decisions. And the parent tries to guide the child or the person in their tutelage to be able to be self independent and to be all that they can be. And this world of time and space is our play school in which we can experiment with various things. We can say, what would love have me do whenever we are faced with love's opposite, which is some type of fear or some belief that we're separate. And from that, we can learn or remember what we truly are and grow into that and actually demonstrate through our freedom of choice, our ability to make decisions and to learn. So, you know, God wants us to be happy. He also knows that we need to be free. The Holy Spirit, or our internal guidance system, whatever you want to call that, knows the truth of who we are and therefore will eventually lead us to the truth, that reawakening. And it's this process where we actually, as free, independent uh, aspects of the whole, reawaken to the truth of what we really are. And so it's our own uh, decision maker that decides when we'll do that. And the Holy Spirit, our internal guide, is gently reawakening us to that truth. So uh, it's not forced upon us. God doesn't say, you're perfect, whole, and complete. You can't have the experience of pretending that you're limited. It says, go ahead if you want to do that and you think that'll make you happy. Uh, do that, but know that I've protected you, that my love flows constantly, that you can pretend that you're a boy, or you can pretend that you're a dog, but you still remain that boy. And the inner guide, that Holy Spirit, is just going to gently reawaken us, because if it tried to wake us out of a deep slumber, uh, and or we would perhaps we'd be more frightened because of that. So the Holy Spirit, our internal guide, slowly reawakens us to the truth, and we freely choose to reclaim our own divine inheritance. And that person that does that knows the truth and actually uh, is has the benefits of all the gifts that the Father, or their spiritual DNA, provides, and yet also has the ability to say, kind of like the song, I did it my way. So we're all in charge of when we will reawaken, and it's all guaranteed because of our divine birthright. So God allows us. And so whenever we say, why does bad things happen? It's really our own decision that we didn't want to be a slave being told what to do. We wanted to freely choose and demonstrate what we really are. And although the Course uses the word happiness, we might want to substitute that with the idea of inner peace. And inner peace is really when our true nature is in alignment with how we behave in time and space. When you live your principles that you've determined are to guide your life, you'll be at inner peace, even though uh, the time and space world may seem to swirl around you and emanate a lot of fear. You'll know that you are demonstrating what you truly are. Uh, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That's wonderful. Fantastic. I love that I did it my way. It's absolutely such a, it was, I guess growing up, that might have been one of my theme songs. I did it my way. I don't know about you guys, but I have children. My son specifically, he is probably the same way I was growing up, but he absolutely wants to do it his way. And he can't tie his own shoes right now, unfortunately. He's 8 and he is just bound and determined to do it his way. And he can't tie a knot. But regardless of whether he can do it or not, he's got to do it his way and he won't listen. And so I'm learning how to be happy in spite of that. That's my parental lesson today. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Andy, you've got a new picture today. Look at that. Neville, The Power of Imagination. That's a wonderful thing. I love that book.
Well, I
And
just put it up because Jordan, was talking about reading them, and I was
mhm,
kind of showing her again too. To if that collection is really great because there's a lot of little books, so like some of them can be read, you know, pretty simple, and that
yeah, they're
just
almost parable-like in their story nature, right? Little
yeah,
parables.
parables. Oh, because he's actually describes the Bible written as a psychology book, which is amazing. So it gives you a
Yeah,
totally different perspective rather than control, mind control. It's
that's
more,
right.
yeah,
The more we try to control things, the harder it gets too. It's one of those conundrums in life.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, how religion kind of does the mind control thing.
Yes.
This is the only religion and blah blah blah. Yeah. So I like the how he brings it, but he does bring it with the Holy Bible. I don't know
Hmm.
what his background was with that. Some Yeah, he's a really interesting person. He was, huh. But yeah, I don't remember if he actually had. I think that he studied. I think that they were Catholic or something. I think, yeah. And then when he got older, he just not much older either. So a lot of wisdom and insight.
Hmm.
And of
Dinesh, if you have
course,
something to share.
he had the help from all the previous leaders too. I'm sure like
Yeah, the New Thought leadership definitely contributed to where he came from. I'm checking his background. I think he came in through the New Thought stuff
yeah,
in
he
the
did.
17 and 1800s.
Like
Dinesh, you had your hand up. I'd love to give you some space to share if you'd like.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning, or at least where I'm from, it's good morning. How are you, Lee? How's everything?
Doing great. Doing really, really good.
Yeah, where's Bob? I don't see Bob.
My dad was busy all night long, and I got a phone call from my mom at 6:15, and she said he will not be making it this morning. He needs to rest, and
Oh,
so I know my mom's taking good care of him.
okay. Well, he would have been happy to see me here today. So, anyway,
I'll
do
let him
extend
know.
my yeah. Tell him I said a big hi.
You
Yeah,
got it.
and
You got it.
and tell him I'm kind of back, not permanently. I'm gonna try,
Oh,
but
good.
yeah, I've been out because I've been going through stuff and the day to days of life and
Yeah, I'm glad you're back.
yeah, but I'm trying to get back from today, so wish me luck. And
No problem.
tomorrow is my son's birthday. He's gonna be 7. So
Wonderful. Oh,
yeah,
such a
I
great age.
yeah, I just wanted to ask everyone to pray for him because we've been through a lot. I mean, many people don't know, but we've been through a lot in the past few years. And he's doing well. Um, he's just this little angel who's growing up, saying different things, doing different things, and I mean, as you know from my previous visits, I'm very, very worried about him. So just if everyone can just pray for him, that would mean a lot to me. Because
I
I
definitely
believe,
see God with him. God with him. And I know you've talked about how he, in spite of all those challenges, is still a happy little boy. He'll
yeah,
show you the way.
yeah,
God being love
yeah.
is also happiness. He shows our way back to happiness every time.
Thank you. And yeah, basically, I want to start coming back and listening because I'm again going through stuff, but this time. I think this time I'm not going to let things get to me the way they used to. I'm going to leave things to the universe more than before. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy that I found it in myself to come back today and listen to a few things you guys said earlier. It's very nice, and I
You
pray that
got it, man.
Yeah, so just a big hi to everyone, a big hi to Bob, and I hope to see you guys every morning from today onwards. Yeah?
Well, thanks, Dinesh. If you want, you can tap on my face and hit the little bell, and it will give you a little reminder when I start talking. This
Sure.
is pretty much the only room I go to, so um, I'd love to see you every morning too. And I know our children are our best teachers sometimes, and
Okay.
I get super frustrated by my boy, who has basically no health challenges, and probably the only challenges he's getting is from my bad parenting sometimes. So if I can just get myself straight, I know I can be the best dad I can be. That's what I'm doing every morning. I'm getting a little bit better every day.
You know, the only thing I can say is coming from a childhood which was, I was, what do you say? How do you say it? I was like emotionally neglected. And so I can only say one thing. I think what a kid needs is just his parents to speak to him every day. Ask him how his day was, tell him you love him, just the simple things, and I think you'll do
Yes.
a good job,
Yeah.
you know. So good
Brother, I
luck
know
with
you're
that.
right.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And I think what I have to say is there's no way you can screw up. There's no way you can screw up. And
Exactly.
Exactly.
it's not, and you know what? We don't know what, you know what? It's just so crazy. It's not crazy. It's just so crazy wonderful, actually, that, that this book tells us that, we, each soul, we're probably working on things together, but we need, everything comes in the right timing, and that there might be something that, like, I look back at my dad, who, I've got stories about my dad that would curl people's toes. But you know what? If I could choose again, I'd choose him. Why? Because I have joy, and maybe he has a great deal to do with that. And it doesn't matter what I thought it was. My ego, it just had to
Hmm.
happen that way.
That's the way it is sometimes.
Yeah, so don't try to change. Don't try to change. It all happens anyway. It's evolution. We just do. And everything that you have already presented him has been actually very purposeful, whether you think it's caused us a problem or not. It may cause enough of a problem to have him work it out.
I know
If I
you're
could.
right, Andy.
Well, I'm
Thank you.
only right because I've learned from Course in Miracles. That's all, and I've had to do the same things. And you guys have seen,
I hear it.
I haven't. Yeah, I ain't gonna say I haven't always been right. I've always been right. It's just that I didn't always understand things, and I'm sure I won't
Right.
understand. There's a lot more to understand,
Yeah.
but it'll come in due time, and I'm good with that.
Good enough.
He
Hi,
needed you.
Rosa.
He needs you the way you are.
Yes, ma'am. Agreed. Hi, Rosa. Do you want to share something?
I think good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um,
God
I was
wanted you to
just
share something
listening.
whether you wanted to or not. How about that?
Actually, I got called out, right? I was just sitting here listening to
It's
everyone.
all a blessing.
And I don't know if parents do it right or not. I think that as long as a parent, we don't function in anger and calm down before we react or respond to our children, we'd be all right, because then we can go back to love and think logically. And as a parent, we should never make decisions or in anger,
Yes, ma'am.
because parent kids make you angry. I was thinking, everyone was saying,
you, you're
it's
so true.
it's it's my granddaughter's birthday. Now my grandson is 20. He's always been loving. He saved my life a lot of times when he was a kid. When my sugar would get low, he would make sure that someone in the house found me. My granddaughter, on the other hand, is her own woman. She has always been her own woman. And that girl just ticks me the freak out. I mean, she just ticks me off all the time. I don't care what it is. I'm like, girl, if you just can't be normal, just be a normal kid. God, ask for help. She's very independent. She's very creative, and she knows her own mind. I mean, she's turning 13 in a couple of days. And I always wanted to be very close to her, but we're not. My grandson is my sweetheart. I love him and I love her too, but we're not close in any form or fashion. She she will tell me, Nima, I haven't seen you in a long time. Why don't you come down this weekend and stay with us? And I say, okay, I'll come. And do you know, the only time she sees me is when I first get there. The first hour, she wants to, sit with me and talk with me. But after that, I don't care how long I'm there. We have no conversation except for good morning, hello, how you doing? That's it. I said, Lord, I don't know why I'm in this girl's life, but whatever it is, just make me be happy that she's here. And it's funny because the whole time my daughter was carrying her, my granddaughter would come to me in dreams. I knew what she looked like before she got here. I knew she was going to be a girl. She would travel to me in dreams. And I would say, like, why is it that you can visit me before you're here, but while you're here, you're not? It's like I don't know if it's taking me for granted that I'll always be here or
She
what.
knows
I
how
don't
to
know.
reach you. She knows how to reach you.
Yeah, please.
That's
I'd
for
be like,
sure.
Lord. So I don't know if we've done the right thing or because um my experience, I was a teacher. So I I affected a lot of children in my 34 years of teaching. The one thing that I do know is that I affected them because them I see them sometimes in the street and they'll remember me and all of that. But I don't know. All I know is that I did everything that I did in love. It was not hard for me to teach. It was not hard for me to be the staunch person that I am.
You're
Um,
still teaching.
right.
You're teaching. You're teaching me right this minute because I don't know is the perfect answer. You're not judging. You're saying I don't know, and I don't know either. I think I do.
And I would hope that I did everything out of love, even though I wasn't in the same
Yes.
space
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I'm in now. But the one thing that I do know is that I've loved, always loved, and always had faith that whatever was going on, as long as my intention was good, my intention was not a selfish intention. I don't give advice selfishly. And if I don't know, I'll say, look, I don't know. That's an experience I can't reflect on, but I can reflect on love because love has carried me through um, this thing called life. And I always return to it no matter what. Love and forgiveness is my first. Grace is what I give everybody. I realize that we are all on our journey. And sometimes, as a parent, you can't stop your child's journey. You can't, whatever intention they had when they came here. And I think we all do make some sort of pact with God or a group that this is going to be my job here. And if anything happens in between that makes me change my mind or change my projection as to what I'm going to do while I'm here, it's for my betterment and for the betterment of people around me. If you live in love, if you think in love, if you return to love after being um, attacked or felt like you've been misjudged whatever. But if you just return to the love that you have in that situation, it will work out for the betterment of all parties involved. It will. It will go through its changes. It will go
Amen.
through its whole process. But the ultimate end for me is that I did this in love. I didn't do it out of selfish reasons. I am not here just for me, even though we might want to make it a selfish thing. We're not here just for ourselves. We make all kinds of influences on the people around us, and we never really know how we influence them until they feel free enough to tell us. Like my family tells me all the time, my father's family. I have three sides to my family. I have my father's family, my mother's family, and my stepfather's family. And they've all showed me love, no matter what. Even in my darkest moments, they never ever saw me in darkness. Some of the things that my family, my cousins and stuff tell me, because I'm so much older than them, I was pretty much the only girl around for a long time. And so I'm older than all my cousins. And they'll say, Rosa, you showed us the things that women can do. You traveled, you had all these fancy cars, and, all this stuff that they're telling me. And I'd be like, well, I was crazy as crap back then. I was insane. I would take my rent money and travel to St. Thomas for a week. I'd leave my job and go to Africa and stay a month more than what I was supposed to. And yet God still carried me through. The decisions that I made on my own. And I did that on my own, and it's amazing how people see you. And when my grandchildren get old enough, and my daughter, she's 45, I want to ask them in fear, what do you think about me? If somebody asked you, do you know Rosa J? What do you think about her? What would they say? Can I be that fly on the wall at my funeral so I can see what people say about me and what impression I left here on the earth? And I would hope that when they think about me as I've gone, that they will always think about me in love and in forgiveness, because I forgive everybody for everything, no
I
matter
can tell
what it
you,
is.
you're a streak of light and joy and happiness, dear. You are amazing. If you want to know what people think, I'll tell you. You're wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
you are the most loving mom because you always reminds me my mom. So of course you have all the love within you and you show us always that. So I gotta thank you again because hearing you is like hearing my mom. And I love you very much.
But you can call me Mima like everybody else calls me. I got more children than a little bit. I
Little
wanted
plus.
8 kids of my own. I only got one, but everybody else's kids love me, and so I'm grateful, and I love them. There's nothing that I would not do for someone that I know. Even those people that I don't know. The things I'm just here in love. That's it.
I love
Now, if
you too,
y'all could send
Rosa,
me my
and I
nice
feel your
husband,
love.
look, if y'all could send me my nice mate, my soulmate, I'd be happy to just live in this little house that I live in and be happy just me and him. But that doesn't seem to be a part of the process. So I think I'll just stick around for a minute and see how it unfolds in love. And I love today's message because it is all about love. It's nothing else. There's nothing else. Love and forgiveness. That's it. And if you press some love on it, it will work out. And I ain't got to do a thing. but pray that it turns out for the best for everybody. And that's exactly what I'm doing with my auntie. I call her every morning. I talk to her. I don't have to be in your space. I remind her of things that she can do, and you know, it's all good. Life is easy if you allow love to just take it and run with it, and don't put myself in the middle of it. My ego, my hurt feelings, you know,
I
those
feel
things.
as a parent, I have limited influence in terms of ongoing with my kids. I had them through about 6 or 7, but as soon as they started going to school, their teachers had a lot more influence than I did. I think you were
Mm,
probably the mom to a lot more kids than you're giving yourself credit to, because I think you're still being a great mom here with us.
oh, thank you. That's all I can do.
Rosa,
That's the one thing that I know I am. I am a parent, and I parent everybody. Okay, how old you are?
Oh, it's apparent. It's definitely apparent that you're a parent.
I want to share something with you, Rosa. My mom and my daughter. I have a picture of us of them. I can't. And we were in. I think maybe we were visiting her back in Philadelphia. I used to live in St. Louis, and I think we were coming back to Philadelphia for a visit, or maybe she was with us. I don't remember. It's such a cute picture. My daughter's in this pretty little blue dress, looking so adorable. She must have been about 4 or 5 years old, and she's got her arm like back. You know, if somebody holds you're holding somebody's hand, and you snatch it. That
Mhm.
movement, and she had snatched her hand away from my mom, and my mom's looking at her, and I captured that moment, and it's so hilarious because that was them. That was them for years. Her and my mother were like oil and water. And my mother just did not understand. And it was the same thing like you, like my son, like my son is her little sweetheart, especially now. Cause he will rescue her. Like he'll hear my mother coughing in her room. And probably because his room is just over hers. And he'll run in like Superman and he'll pat her on her back and get her together. And man, he looks out for his grandmom. And the same thing with my daughter. She would, if she was there, she'd just like look at her, kind of like, "Are you okay?"
Right.
With
That's
her
what
teeth.
my granddaughter. It's like no matter what I go through, low sugars, and she's always there. And she's just looking like, "Mommy will get it together.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not gonna be all right." It's
Yeah.
like he just
It's
stands there
funny.
like, "Okay, get yourself together now."
Yeah, yeah. My daughter's kind of like looking at her like, "Are you all right?" Kind of sideways, and it's so funny. But now I have to say, and I know this will happen probably for you, is their relationship has really evolved to, my daughter's 26 now, and sometimes I hear them in the kitchen just chatting away, um, and have these conversations,
I
and
pray that
it's so
that's what it
beautiful
is.
to see. Yes,
I, I
it will
pray for that.
evolve. And
I
she
pray
and
for
she
that.
loves you, Rosa, because she wants you there. She invited you there. She wants your presence in the house for
Right.
sure.
And she doesn't have to, it's like, as long as she knows I'm here, I'm good. She's all right as long as she knows I'm here. And that's all right. I'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. It's love. I just don't see it right now. I just don't feel it. I know
It
she's
is
listening.
hilarious to witness, and I'm sure people around you are like kind of snickering about it. But yeah, it's um it's an
Yeah.
interesting dynamic, and it's because you're both powerful beings. Like my daughter's a little powerhouse too, like in our dynamic here. And it's so interesting to watch how different their personalities are and their energies are so different.
And
Uh,
it is amazing because my granddaughter's name is Akila. And Akila it means one who uses intelligence and reason. And she's always been that. She's a problem solver. She's a creative being. And I just kind of let her flow. I'd be like, I just don't. and she's very stubborn. So once she makes her mind up, it's a done deal. You know, I don't bother her. She don't bother me. We're happy. It's cool. You know, it's cool. But my daughter is in that whole experience. She and my granddaughter have a beautiful relationship, um, and I'm happy. My daughter and our relationship. I don't know. I've always treated her like an adult. So she's, she's that logical being in the back of my head. She told me one time when she was 2, I used to be your mother. And I honestly think she is my daughter. She is I know she's my mother's spirit. And that's why I don't ever dream about my mother, because my mother is not in heaven. My mother is right here on earth with me. And that's my daughter. And she acts like my mother sometimes. I have to remind her that I am the mother in this experience. So, leave me alone. And she does. Relationships are they say if you want to know who you really are, get in a relationship, because a relationship will teach you who you are and will teach you all kinds of lessons that no one else can. So be aware
Beautiful. Rosa, you went away? Rosa.
of you. Somebody's trying to call me. So I'm gonna have to
Ah,
leave. You guys have a blessed and glorious day. Live in love.
love
Thank you,
you.
Rosa.
You
Peace and
too,
love.
Rosa. Love you.
We love you. It's funny when she says that about her daughter and her granddaughter that she dreamed with her. I dreamed with Vera before even I was aware that I was pregnant. I dreamed with her 2 times. Like a month prior, I was uh, aware that I was pregnant. And it's funny. It's funny because also my ex-husband these are the curious things in life that you don't get, the mysteries in life that you don't get to know why, but it happens, and then you can find some kind of proof that we are more than the body, right? One of the things that don't let my ex-husband release the idea that he needs to be with Paloma, his new object of interest, is because Paloma has been like having certain experiences that makes him believe that his relationship with her must be for a higher reason. For example, he told me recently, this is something that he didn't tell me before because, he was really full of guilt that he didn't want me to know for how long he has been seeing her. And now that everything is in a different place, he now shares everything with me. So he told me that the the first time that he showed Paloma a picture of Vera, my daughter, she was like blown away immediately because she never saw her before, and she told him immediately, this is the girl in my dreams, this is the girl in my dreams. I've dreamed with this little girl like this in a swing, and she described the swing, and the swing she described is the swing that we have in the house back in Merida. And she was really blown away. So for Kurt was like a sign of heaven or something like that. So for him has been really tough, working his way, letting Paloma be free in order for him to experience love in a different perspective, because he with this kind of situation he thinks that this is something that was was sent for a higher reason. I mean, Paloma is there for a higher reason. But it's funny because when he told me that, I said, isn't it funny that Vera shows up before she really appears in real life? I mean, because that was happened with me, with myself. I mean, I know that I don't know if Paloma is going to end up being my ex-husband partner, but I know that uh, they look good together. There was a moment prior my trip here to the US when Kurt showed me a picture of them all. I mean, him, Paloma, her son, and Vera, and they all four look so nice together that I really felt glad that he could find that girl. And I don't know her. He hasn't been so sure to. He didn't want me to meet her before I left. And I know that in some point I will meet her or something, but it's like really there's something there that is special, and I can see clearly why he is like having this kind of attachment. um but what I wanted to share is that particular thing about appearing in dreams before the things happen. It's funny it's funny. I dreamt with Vera 2 times before I knew that I was pregnant, and this girl dreamt with Vera before she even met her. So, well, who
Um,
knows?
Adriana, I was like wondering, why does she keep calling her an object? And now you answered it right away. It was not, she was not a soul that he had met yet. She was a figment in a dream, right? Um, do you know what I mean? Like she wasn't somebody that had actually happened yet. And then he's calling her that what did he call her? Something of his dreams, woman of his dreams, I guess. Which means,
Yeah, the object of his interest or something. I, co-
uh,
something I said. Yeah, I said the object of his
yeah,
interest or
yeah,
something like that, right?
yeah. And I was like,
Yeah,
why does she keep calling her that?
but
And then I realize now because he thinks he dreamt of her,
yeah,
and it
exactly. He
wasn't a
still think
real. Yeah,
exactly.
now I get it.
Uh-huh.
Because I was
Yeah,
like, why does she?
it's not that I conceive her like an object, but
I
he
know.
thinks she is an object. he
Yeah,
still
yeah,
he
yeah.
still
Now,
thinks that
mm,
he needs to own her. That's my whole
mm-hmm.
therapy with
Yeah.
him.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I was just intrigued by the word, and I was like, wonder why. Not that I was judging you for it. I was just like, wonder why. Where's that coming from? But
Yeah,
then you answered it. So I
yeah.
just thought I would mention that to you, just because it was
Yeah,
interesting how,
yeah,
of course, it unfolded. You let us know why. But yeah,
yeah.
so I was just a little bit confused with that. But yeah, that's interesting. So he thinks
That.
so he's going to hold on to that attachment because that's what he thinks. um,
Mhm.
so there's still some, yeah,
He
yeah,
still
uh,
thinks that he is the body. I mean,
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
already began. He already began to understand that we are more than a body because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
really making an effort to understand,
Oh, this will
and
do
he
it.
really, yeah, yeah, yeah,
This will
exactly,
probably do it. Yeah.
exactly. That Paloma,
The
that
story
Paloma
helps
is
me more
making
too.
wonders.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
story helps me let go of this body a little more. Well, although I don't want to let go of the body, how do I want to put that? Not put the whole emphasis on the body. Yeah, that's what I want to you know, not put the, like, yeah, maybe it is let go of the body, but then I fear if I let go of my body, I'll be ready to die. And I fear that because I don't want to. So again, it's that fear, that manipulation, thinking that I have to control something and want to believe that my body's real so that I don't have to lose it because I'm not ready to go anywhere. I still want to create, and go. So like I'm just riffing and it's just yeah, now I see why. So, and knowing that fear is BS, and I still
Exactly.
sometimes hold on to the idea because I think it's controlling. See, I wrote that all through that little chat in the back. I was really trying to talk about, like, when the subject came up about anger, I always had to pretend. Or not usually, they were probably all used out of manipulation. Maybe my crying was to even say I'm hungry, feed me. I'm I'm crying, Daddy, stop spanking me. You know what I mean? Like all these things are to like control, thinking I'm controlling somebody else. I had to act like I was angry to my children so that they would stop doing annoying me, right? And I just started, and for years I realized I was had to pretend that, but the joke was came back on me. Back on me. Why? Because then I was giving them the message that they can control other people through their
There.
yes, and in the end, I'm like, and then the joke will be on them. So really, but at least it's all out there now. It's all out there now. It's exposed.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway,
Yeah, it's no, it is funny. I mean, it is funny, and I
it
totally
is
get
funny.
all the things that you're saying right now because I see
It
myself in those things too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny when you realize that when you do realize that you're just using it and then it's coming back on you. Yeah, that's when it is funny. So
I love it when you riff, Andy.
I'm
I
exploring
just
at the same time, right?
I love it. Um, I just saw the messages in the group chat. I'm like, I guess I'm just out of it this morning. And with the question that Lee posed, why fear is, I guess I'll just read the question, right? Why is a fear based thought system so incompatible with that truth that God is only love and love has no limits or opposites? And I guess because fear is so limited, I'm just thinking about this. I have to think through it because I'll catch myself in the midst of a fear thought and it'll be in my belly, literally. I'll feel this like tension in my belly, very somatic thing. And I guess it's mental too. I guess maybe it starts in the mind and it goes into the body sometimes, and it's so limiting. And love is just so expansive and beautiful and freeing. And fear is constricting and constricted, and almost can't breathe when you're in fear. You're not fully, living as you should. So, yeah, when I call myself out on it, why are you? I do that all the time now. It's great that I can observe if I fall into these little traps, these little mind traps. I'm like, oh, I'm afraid of something. What is it? Because it used to like manifest as like it was hidden. Now I can see it. It's in the light. It's like a yucky thing in the light, right on the sidewalk in the sun. Ooh, what is that? And it shrivels. It'll shrivel and go away when I shine light on it. Like, oh, I don't have to be in fear about that. I could trust God and I can surrender and let go, truly let go. And I don't have to have that fear. I don't have to live that way. It does seem like a choice when like I'm really choosing to be in this fear. It's really unnecessary. So, but thanks for that question. I want to continue to contemplate it some more.
It's funny that you mentioned the breathing because when we saw for the first time in this year the lesson 103, that is part of the review today, it was the 103, yeah, right? Yes. Uh-huh. We talk. The lesson was all about us discussing the breathing. Why I have to remember breathing? I guess it was a question that Andy Andy said or something that, and the discussion that they went all about breathing because yes, love and joy is just releasing everything and just being fluid. And when you flow, you can see it's like a jig, how do you say like a giggle. Like if you something is flowing and then you just see everything with different feelings, and you get to giggle about everything or about even the things that in the past were really like a nightmare, and then you see like, yeah, this is so ridiculous, or this is so like obvious, and I thought it was like, but I was creating it myself. I mean, I don't know, it's funny. It makes it, I know that that I'm saying that it's funny. I still have the question in my head, like, why is it that funny when somebody falls? Why is it that funny for me when somebody falls? Because it's misery. I mean, it's watching somebody being miserable in the floor, unable to
It's
handle.
that that is so
On
funny.
a,
Did you explore? Okay, you've been exploring that. Okay, Tell us
Yeah.
what you came up with.
It's funny because it's like having someone in front of your eyes being completely incapable of handling his physical body. I don't know. I don't know. But well,
Yeah, that might be
life
it. That might be it. It's probably like, oh, they've been walking for how long? They've been doing this for how long? And then, then when we do
exactly.
it, it's the same thing. It's like, how can I screw that up? I've been doing it since I was one, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And it doesn't happen. I mean, when a baby is starting to walk or whatever, it looks, oh, so cute. They are so cute. But when it's a grown up, really, I mean, it's like, and it's like the joke of life. We fall into the floor. We bruise our knees and have the skin scratch or something out of a fall. But really, then you realize that nothing happened and the body heals and whatever. So it's just from a perspective of the witness,
You know
something
what's even
funny.
funnier? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
You know what
go.
I think is funnier when when we are about to fall and we have to do all these turns and twists to catch ourselves, and then we catch ourselves, and
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like we're doing all these weird, movements, and if we could see ourselves doing all, because like when we, yeah, it's like watching that show. What is it called? Jackass, and the people are doing stupid things, and then they they get hurt.
yeah,
It's not
exactly,
that we want them to be in pain. It's just like,
exactly.
yeah, it's the joy. It's, I guess, the joy of seeing that they're out of control, and,
The
or that
joy,
I was
the
out of
joy of
control.
understanding that we are not the body. I don't know. But it's funny. I mean, I know that when somebody falls and really like get himself hurt or herself hurt, it's not a good thing. But really, I mean, for me, when somebody falls, it's like, what? And I start giggling and I can stop. I just laugh. But well, if somebody gets really, really hurt, I will help. But oh my God, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I know, but when we, okay, so if we think it's funny when they're out of control, and we think it's funny when we're out of control, it's kind of like, it's kind of taking us back to laughing at ourselves, really, because it's like saying, I thought I had this, and
I
like,
thought I knew.
right? So
Don't
it's
worry.
like, I thought I knew this, and look at that dumb mistake I made. But not to put ourselves down, but to laugh. I really laugh at myself a lot. A lot. I probably could go back and listen to this stuff and crack up hearing my own voice say these things. It's like, where'd that all come from? That kind of thing, you know. I'm glad you brought that up again. It might need more. It might need more exploring and explanation. I don't know. Oh well.
Well, for me, it's really something interesting. Since the other that we were just talking about those things, and I was really like the question remains it remained in my mind, like why is that so funny? But it is true. It is an
Exactly.
analogy. It is an analogy. You always think that you know how to do things. No, you don't.
Yeah. And then we
Yeah,
think, we must be this. This must not be right that I'm laughing at,
yeah.
at
We
at
judge
these
ourselves for
things.
laughing. Yeah,
Yeah, so then
exactly.
we're like, well, why would we do something like that? Laugh at somebody when they fall. It's not the yeah, it's definitely not that they're in pain. Definitely not that.
Yeah,
Because I
it's funny
don't,
how we judge the laughter, right? Yeah,
yeah,
because
right,
laughing is not hurting anybody. When
right.
you laugh, you don't hurt anybody. But for us in our ego mind, it's like, oh, you're insulting that person. No, it was funny. It's just funny. I mean, I don't mean bad, or I don't mean anything by laughing. It's just funny.
It really
But yeah,
is.
really, when we are in the ego, we can even misunderstood or mis yeah, misunderstood a laugh, and the laugh is the most freeing thing that we can have in our
Yeah.
physical form, right?
I'm glad you really brought that up now, because I'm going to tell you what I did. I had my sister's boyfriend had got hit by a car, and died suddenly. He was only like 22. But when we were at the wake, I was about 13. There was an incident with him that wasn't so pleasant for me. Excuse me. And it had happened. There was a lot of confusion happening that, anyways, let's just put it that way. Yeah. So when he died, I had a lot of mixed feelings. A lot of mixed feelings. Let's just say I didn't understand a whole lot. But then to see him dead was not actually, I was not comfortable with that. But I wound up laughing. I wound up in the back when they were praying, and I'm looking at it was this is probably going to be so crazy for people to even understand, but maybe they've had the experience, I don't know. But I wound up like having this like laughter that I couldn't really control. I had to leave the area because when they were praying over him, they were praying like Catholic prayers, for his body to be, I guess for his soul to be taken to heaven. um and looking at this dead body, it was a very surreal moment for me. And and that's how I expressed myself. I just couldn't control it any other way. um it felt very fake, something not me. I felt like, because there were so many mixed emotions, and there were so many things I didn't understand. So I like that you just said we don't understand something maybe that's happening. And it's kind of like, I mean, we understand people fall, but there's still something deeper about that, right? And even about the death thing. But I was in just a whole bunch of different emotions, and it wound up being like me laughing really hard. My dad was like, "Are you okay?" Because he thought I was losing it, like
Oh my
crying.
God.
And I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I had my cheeks bleeding on the inside because I was
Wow.
trying not to do this. Finally, I got to the back door and I left. And my dad comes out and he's like, "You okay, Andy?" And I'm like,
Nice.
"Dad, I'm not crying. I'm laughing, and you may not understand it." He left me alone. But for a long time I had to like, I felt guilty about that
Yeah.
behavior. Yeah, so we can feel guilty about laughing when it's really not what we like, because we don't understand why we're laughing always.
But you know what? Now you made me realize that the most funny and joyful gatherings in my family are around what do you say when you are all gathered in a place with the body of the dead person. How do you call it
Yeah,
in
yeah,
English?
the wake. It's called a wake. Like,
Yeah, before they get buried,
yeah.
the day prior, they all gathered with the with the
Wonder why
person
they
dead
call it
in.
the wake. Yeah, who's waking up? Me or them? I think I was the one that woke up then.
Well,
Yeah.
in my family, the most funny, I mean, because when somebody dies in the family, all the family comes together, right? So there's people that hasn't seen each other for so long, and it's a sad moment. And yeah, when everybody gathers, they cry when they meet, but then when they all greet each other with like tears or whatever, then the entire the entire reunion, it's like a party. I remember my dad's. In fact, it's funny because today is my dad's birthday, and I remember his how do you say it? Wake? I think yeah, wake. So his wake, and my family is just pure joy. And I never got to really be mad about my dad not being around because all my family, his family, was around us, and we grew up with his entire brothers and sisters around us, and they were all always very joyful, united. I mean, they were all brothers and sisters, and they maybe had like fightings between them, but they never broke apart the family. They were always like strong together. So I mean, I remember his wake, and it was full of laughter, full of joy. My family plays guitars. They are really like Spanish people. I mean, they are all Colombian, but they had this kind of um, customs from Spanish people that they play guitars and play cards and whatever. It's funny because even in death. we can find so much joy and so much laughter. So I don't know,
Yeah.
I wanted to
But I
share
would
that
like,
because
but
it's,
Adriana, I would really like to say that that's why I was laughing, but it wasn't. So,
yeah.
so that I would like to come off and just say, yeah, we were celebrating the life of him. That wasn't quite how I
Celebrating
was feeling, but anyway,
yeah, of course.
it's
Yeah.
no, I know it's just it's just can be so confusing when it comes because then you're like, wow, it's surreal. It's like, wow, this is a real moment in one way, and in another way, I don't understand this moment. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, cool convo. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good combo. We get to laugh in the worst moments still. So that's another example of how we don't take how we shouldn't take life so serious.
Whenever you get sad, just go on YouTube and pull up funny fails.
Oh my
You
God,
can
that
watch
Kids put
all
yeah.
of
that
the
on all
people
the
falling.
time.
No, and I have to tell you, Rainbow, whenever I got mad with my ex-husband, as he knew me from like I don't know 7 years or whatever, he knows how much laughter can I get from those kind of situations. When I was mad at him, and he didn't even know how to apologize, or he didn't want to say I'm sorry, whatever. What he did it the next day was sending me bunch of those kind
And then Marine General
of
Hubble
videos just to
and
make
our
me.
buddy Tim Montana, who connected us all together to get us here today. Tim, coming up to you first.
Now I want to go watch fails.
Yeah, yeah, he always send me those just to get me out of my angry moment. And sometimes it worked, some others don't, but I still laugh of the videos. Just didn't they didn't lose the anger, but
Watching
yeah,
animals do funny things is a good way to get me to
it's
laugh too.
yeah.
Animals doing funny things.
Yeah, that really is. Tom, you were about to share with us, like the how we're so crazy. I know that something was going to come out to show us that we're just crazy, crazy. Oh, he left.
Oh, he left.
He it happens. It happens about this time every day. He's a couple of time zones behind, and so his wife gets ready to wake up. I
Yeah, I'm
really
sure he wasn't going
appreciate
to
you
say
all
we're
being
crazy,
here.
but he was going to show us how crazy the duality is, right?
Well, it is. I mean,
It is.
God being love is also happiness. He
It's
just wants us to
ironic.
be happy, and our egos just want us to be anything other than happy, it seems like. So
Yeah,
I hope you
you're
guys
right.
can come back to that today. The suggestion from the lesson was that on the hour, we remember God being love is also happiness. And that on the half hour, I seek what belongs to me in truth. So today, be truth seekers and seek happiness and get ready to drop anything that gets in the way of that happiness. I'd rather be happy than right today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the laughter. Thanks for the sharings. Thanks for the love. I'm going to have a beautiful day today, filled with the love of a mother, the laughter of all of us, and the wisdom of God. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adriana. Thanks, everybody. I love you all. Have a beautiful day.
Take care.